Everybody, welcome to Storm Talk. Way 3 News meteorologist Brian Good here on this Monday, and several things to talk about, especially in the short term. It's warm, been warm all night. 67 has been the coolest we've dropped to so far, and really going to climb nicely today. Now, there's a couple of things. First off, the radar's quiet locally. We got just these high-level clouds in some spots. Really, still some blue sky to enjoy. So it's going to be a warm and windy day today, but that's not all good news. You see where the rain is, way to our west. We'll talk about that in a second. But I want to talk about the wind fields today. Gusts now at the IU campus, 23 miles per hour. Indy, 25. Carbondale up to 35 miles per hour. So the winds are going to ramp up as the day wears on, especially as we get a partly cloudy sky back and forth. We'll see those winds mix, is what we call that. And that should allow for a couple things. One, for strong wind potential. And two, should lower the dew point and increase the temperature. So we're, once again, overshooting the models on the forecast highs today, because anytime we mix like this, we push that drier air around into the area, that we see our actual temperature rise. So we're going with a warm day, but very dry and windy. And with that humidity, you could see how that brown area is the dryness in the air. Much worse to our east, where they do have red flag warnings out, which is a high fire danger for eastern Kentucky. We're at an elevated risk here locally, and they'll be monitoring that carefully, humidity levels this afternoon, see if we need to upgrade to a red flag locally. But I would limit any of that outdoor burning with this kind of a setup. Moisture is moving our way from the west there, as you see, but not during the daylight hours. So let's talk about the rain side of this. There's not a lot along the front because it doesn't have a lot of moisture to work with, but it's going to try its best. The severe outlook today mainly focused closer to the low pressure itself in the Great Lakes. Marginal risk everywhere else, including our far northwest counties. Now, when you look at the wind fields later tonight, yeah, they're decent, right on the edge here of our area across Indiana, but the instability, very little cape sneaking into our northern counties after midnight tonight, and it's much at that higher, and greatly higher, but it is higher than what is indicated here before it arrives. But it's just meager instability. There is wind fields, though, so if we end up gaining more instability than what's indicated here on the models, I wouldn't rule out a strong thunderstorm. The other caveat to this is that the models are more than likely overdoing the amount of moisture that this front's going to have when it moves in, and given how dry the air is now, so more than likely the instability is not even going to be to that level as what you see here on the NAM for later tonight. So it's probably even lower cape. So a lot of wind energy, but not all the ingredients are lined up for severe weather, which is good. Here it is on our local in-house model. You see warm afternoon, evening. Then as we toward the midnight hour, that's when we feel the effects of these scattered showers and some rumbles of thunder working their way in. The front's slow. It's really going to slow down because the low's getting away from it now. The low's getting all the way into near Lake Erie, and it's going to leave the front behind. Anytime the front or low gets too far away from the front, you lose that dynamics, the forcing the front has. So the front begins to just kind of sluggishly make its way through, especially the Ohio Valley. Very summer-like pattern, really, because we very rarely in the summer get cold fronts to even push through at all, because all the low pressures stay up in Canada in the summertime. So this is a summer-like system here, where the front's going to struggle to move through. Now, for the afternoon period, we'll wait and see where the front is, because there could be enough warming to get through. Perhaps some of the cloud cover to create some instability, as indicated here. It's, again, weak. The wind fields, weak. All the wind energy now has left us. It's gone now with that low. So I'm not too concerned about severe weather for Tuesday afternoon, but some rumbles of thunder, sure. There could be some thunderstorms along the front. Notice how slow it is in getting through here as we head into Tuesday afternoon. If it's too slow, we'll have to raise the rain chance up a bit. We got it at 40% now. We may have to go to 60% if the front can't even get through here at all. And I wouldn't rule that out. There's a chance the front could stall out across Kentucky before reversing again and going back as a warm front, which sets up the end of the week forecast for the holiday weekend. It will eventually become a warm front again and move back north, but this is all based on the idea that it goes south of us for at least a day. That would be Wednesday to give us beautiful weather. But if the front stalls over us, we'll have to change Wednesday's forecast, so stay tuned. But anyway, it'll move back to the north, scattered thunderstorm chances as long as there's a front period in the area. Once a front gets north of us, which I think would be sometime later Saturday, we really warm up. Saturday night looks fine. I think Easter Sunday morning, if the timing holds, looks fine. But it's not necessarily the warm front for Easter Sunday. It's the cold front with this low that's going to begin to work its way in as the day wears on, especially into Easter Sunday night. So the speed of that is key. And if it moves in too quick, it could certainly impact the daylight hours of Easter itself. If the timing holds now, I think a lot of the services and Easter egg hunts early in the day will be fine. But once you get past 12, 1 o'clock, right when services end, that's when you may run into some problems at that point. But it's still early in the game here. It's only Monday. We'll see how this pans out. Looking further down the road, and you look at the models here, we are looking toward Thunder of Louisville period. The ensembles are still showing at least a cool pattern. They'll be exiting at the time as we head toward Thunder. So we'll begin to warm up as we approach Thunder of Louisville weekend. So that tells us the winds will likely be east going to south-southwest. How quickly does that happen for the air show? I can't really tell you yet. That will determine that and the smoke, of course. But we do see a warm period moving in. But notice this, too. The GFS is really hitting it hard, but it's the only model we can use this far out. But it indicates a stronger low will be moving in by Thunder over Louisville evening for the fireworks, which would be stormy. Strong thunderstorms at that. However, the ensemble's a bit slower with that idea and are not as aggressive, so we'll trim the ensemble idea for now, but we'll keep a small rain chance in just in case it ends up moving in during the day on Saturday. But if we can get lucky and time it out just right, it could be a decent day. I mean, really warm. We could see temperatures 70s and 80s, and may get a chance to hold the rain chance off until after Thunder itself. We'll see how it plays out, guys.